Okay, one thing I forgot to cover on our kitchen build was how to put a dressy edging on your cabinets when you wind up with a raw edge like this on your laminated wood. This is 3/4 inch pre-glued edge banding that cabinet makers use. When you use it, you always take it out of the center of the roll, measure out how much you need, and add an extra inch so you have a little bit extra on each end. And then what you do is you lay this edging on your raw piece, your raw side, and then you iron it with a hot iron. Pretty hot iron too. When you iron it, it's going to make little gray marks in the edging, but that's okay. I'll get to that in a second. Anyway, so you iron this on, and then take a cool compress, a old dish rag or old cloth that's cool water, and then once it's glued on nice and tight, and make sure you got it glued down, and if it's not glued enough, you can always iron it again. But once it's glued down, then you take that cool compress and just press it down real hard and help set that glue, okay? And then let it set for about 10 minutes. And after it's set, babe, can you hold this for me? Thanks. After it's set, then what you do is you take your utility knife and just barely, it just comes right off really easily. You don't want a utility blade that's too sharp, because then it'll gouge into everything it touches. So you want your blade to be a little bit dull. So when this is laying flat, you have just a little bit of a lip there. I lined mine up on one edge, glued it down, and then just trimmed the other edge. And then after it cools down, use acetone on a napkin or paper towel and just get that couple of shakes on there, and then take and wipe that acetone up and down, and then get a clean spot, shake, and then just clean all that gray off that the iron causes when you iron it down. And then that way you have beautiful finished edgings on your cabinet. If you can ever take advantage of the edges that are already factory installed on your laminated wood, then absolutely cut the backs of those off. We didn't laminate the back sides of these, of course, because we don't really care what they look like through the tinted glass. But the forward-facing sides that you can see are factory laminated. Then right in front of the cooler on that ledge above the doors that's facing up, we used the tape on that. There's a really big selection of cabinet makers and handymen and so forth that will take you from step one all the way through to the final steps of putting this edge banding on your cabinets. So I'm not going to do that here, but just wanted to let you know that it was something available if you didn't already know. Part of the learning curve. We use the glue on cabinet edging in other places too. For instance, in this amazing photo, I love this photo, you can see this is the cooler cabinet, and on the insides of these pieces of Formica, we glued on the white edging. You can purchase end caps, and we wanted to, but we just didn't want to spend the money, and they're not real visible when the cooler's in there anyway. It wasn't a big deal to us. But we bought the 4-foot laminate countertop kit, not the laminate sheets that you glue onto wood. We bought the countertops already made. And then ours we ordered came with a separate splash guard, and it came with the end caps. And in this photo you can see that instead of using the splash guard that's up facing the sink, screwed into the wall or glued to the wall, we took ours and flipped it backwards and made the matching marble edging that you see above the water jugs, the jerry cans. That's actually the backsplash that we put in a different position to trim out that cabinet when you look at it from the sliding door, the side slider. And then to the right of that, above the butcher block, you can see the end cap, that piece of marble trim on the end of the Formica cabinet. That also glues on just like the cabinet edging, and super easy. If we had not bought the kit, got it at Home Depot, if we had not bought the kit with the backsplash and the end caps, we would have had to buy those separately. So it was nice having the pieces we needed to make everything match and tie in. But for the insides of the cooler cabinet flip doors, the flip door next to the sink, on the insides of those pieces of Formica, we used the cabinet edging and gave those a nice clean look. We learned so much while doing our van builds, and it's too bad we probably aren't going to do another van build because we love Casper. But the skills that we gained, man, they weren't that difficult if you just take time. YouTube is a wonderful place to really get down to the nitty-gritty on some of these things. And just take your time with your math and think, plan ahead, decide what you need in your floor plan mostly, and then build from there. But my best advice is to just pace yourself, pace your budget, and enjoy the build, because that's part of the adventure. Okay, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.